This list is structured from least to most popular, as I want this video to be a reminder for you guys to backlog. Number 10, Cannibal Abduction. Released in 2022, Cannibal Abduction was developed by Tomos and published by Celovi. It's a survival horror game inspired by the late 90s horror games, particularly those with fixed camera angles, limited resources, and environmental puzzles with inventory management on top. The story follows Harry, who becomes trapped inside the house of a family of cannibals after his car breaks down. The objective is to escape the property by exploring the house, solving puzzles, collecting keys and tools, while avoiding the hostile enemies. The game uses fixed camera perspective instead of an over-the-shoulder or first-person view. Combat is limited, encouraging players to save up their ammunition and avoid unnecessary encounters. Progression depends on the exploration and puzzle solving rather than action. Its visual presentation inherently recreates the look of the old games through slow poly environment, retro textures, and classic horror surviving mechanics. Number 9, Home Safety Hotline. Home Safety Hotline was developed by Night Signal Entertainment and released in 2024. Instead of controlling a character exploring dangerous environments, players work as an operator for a fictional home safety call center during the 90s. Gameplay consists of answering phone calls, listening carefully to customers' description of unusual events, searching an in-game database, and identifying the correct supernatural hazards affecting each household. As additional reports are received, the database expands with new entries describing increasingly unusual creatures, paranormal infestations, and unexplained phenomenons. The game presents almost all of its information through dialogue, menus, and a computer interface designed to resemble software from the 90s. Unlike traditional horror games, there's no combat encounters or chase sequences. Progression depends entirely on gathering information and making correct identifications. Number 8, Sorry We're Closed. Released in 2024, Sorry We're Closed, developed by Alarm Mode Games. The story follows Michelle, who becomes after encountering a powerful demon known as the Duchess. The game combines third-person exploration with first-person combat. Throughout the adventure, Michelle gains access to supernatural abilities called the Third Eye, allowing hidden objects, alternate environments, and enemy weak points to become visible. Dialogue choices influence relationships between characters and contribute to multiple possible endings. The game's visual style combines modern lighting techniques with character designs and environments influenced by the 6th generation console horror games. Number 7, Fear the Spotlight. Fear the Spotlight was developed by Cozy Game Pals and released in 2024. Players control Vivian, a high school student who encounters an abandoned school where her friend Amy performs a seance. After supernatural events separate the two, Vivi searches the building while attempting to fight the hostile creatures known as the Spotlight Monsters. Gameplay focuses on exploration style, environmental puzzles, and item collection. The monsters can all be defeated through combat. Instead, players avoid detection by hiding and using the environment. The game intentionally uses low poly graphics and fixed design, inspired by survival horror games from the original PlayStation era. Number 6, Luto. Luto was developed by Broken Bird Games and released in 2025 as a first-person psychological horror game in which players control an individual unable to leave their house. As the exploration continues, ordinary locations gradually changes into impossible spaces through shifting architecture, alternated room layouts, and recurring environments. Story elements are primary, communicated through environmental storytelling, written documents, recorded audio, and visual symbolism. Rather than extended cinematic sequences, the game contains no traditional combat system, placing emphasis on exploration, puzzle solving, and observation. Number 5, Mouthwash. Released in 2024, Mouthwashing was developed by Wrong Organ and published by Critic Reflex. The game is set aboard a cargo spaceship after a catastrophic incident leaves its remaining crew isolated from the outside assistance. Players explore the narrative through multiple perspectives, different points in time, gradually revealing the events leading to the crew's situation. Gameplay combines exploration, dialogue, scripted interactions, and surreal sequences that reflect the deteriorating physical and psychological conditions of the characters. The game uses low poly visuals influenced by the early 3D graphics, incorporating modern lighting and visual effects. Number 4, MADiSON. MADiSON was developed by Bloodiest Games, released in 2022. Players control Luto, who awakens inside his family house after becoming connected to a supernatural entity known as MADiSON. One of the game's primary mechanics involves using an instant camera, photographing, reveals clue, activates puzzles, documents paranormal events, and triggers changes within the environments. Progression requires exploration, solving puzzles, collecting keys, and interpreting environmental clues. The game is presented entirely from a first-person perspective and does not include the usual combat mechanics. Still Wakes the Deep, released in 2024. Still Wakes the Deep was developed by Chinese Room and published by Secret Mode. The game takes place aboard a Verity offshore oil platform in the North Sea during December 1975. The players control McClear after an unknown organism begins spreading throughout the structure. The game does not provide weapons for combat. Instead, players progress by climbing, swimming, hiding, solving environmental challenges, and escaping hostile creatures. Number 2, Amnesia the Bunker. Amnesia the Bunker was developed and published by Fictional Games and released in 2023. The game is set inside a military bunker during World War I. Players control Henri, a French soldier attempting to escape while being taunted by hostile creatures to move freely throughout the bunker. Unlike previous entries in the series, progression occurs within semi-open, interconnected environments instead of a sequence of levels. The creature reacts dynamic. Limited tools and weapons are available throughout the environments, allowing players to complete objectives using different approaches while also distracting and hurting the creature. Alan Wake 2, released in 2023. Alan Wake 2 was developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Epic Games. The game follows two playable protagonists, an FBI agent, Saga, and the writer, Alan Wake to be more precise. Saga investigates a series of ritualistic murders in the town of Black Falls while Alan attempts to escape the dark place, a supernatural dimension where reality is affected by the work of fiction. The game switches between the two protagonists during set events, which involves completing investigations, solving puzzles, exploring connected environments, fighting supernatural enemies known as the Taken. Compared to the original Alan Wake, the sequel takes a greater emphasis on the survival horror through the limited ammunition, resource management, and exploration, all tied with a slower paced combat. The game received numerous industry awards following its release, including honors for the game's direction, narrative, and artistic achievements, and was nominated for multiple Game of the Year awards at major industry ceremonies. That concludes the list. Whether you're looking for classic survival horror mechanics, psychological horror, or narrative-focused experiences, each of these games offer a different interpretation of modern horror. If you've played any of them, let me know your favorite, and if there's any other recent horror games that deserve more attention, mention it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching this video, leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and mean a lot. I'll see you guys next time. $1 video.